Hi, folks. This is Nick Martinelli and Matt Belanger from the Wine Trust. We are a small distributor and wholesaler in the state of Massachusetts. We import very, very small production, small batch wines from family owned properties. And today we're going to be talking about one of our Italian producers, Giacomo Vico, from the Roero area of Piedmont, specifically the wonderful Langhe Nebbiolo.
Thanks a lot, Nick. Hi, everyone. I'm Matt Belanger, and we're happy to speak to you today about Giacomo Vico. The property continues to be family owned. They're now on the fifth generation. It was founded back in the late 1800s by the namesake, Giacomo Vico. It's now run by his great grandson, Alessandro. And they based themselves, as Nick said, in Piedmont, in a town called Canali, which, if you are familiar with that region, it's kind of northwest of Alba. And they've been making wine since the late 1800s. They specialize in very traditional grapes to the region. So for red, you're talking about Dolcetto, you're talking Barbera, Nebbiolo, and then for whites, definitely you'll have some Chardonnay as well as Arneus. So they have a wide variety of grapes to choose from in that area.
So the Nebbiolo grape that we're going to talk about today is one of the most famous grapes of Piedmont, but also in the world. And let me bring up a picture right there so you can see. So these are the wonderful fog-covered hills of Piedmont, because La Nebbia, which means fog, is what goes into the name Nebbiolo, because the fog comes in from the coast and over the hills and preserves the acidity in this wonderful grape that Matt will tell you about right now.
Yeah, exactly, Nick. I mean, the beauty of that fog, in addition to being absolutely gorgeous to look at, is that it really helps to protect the Nebbiolo grape, and it really affords it slower ripening. These grapes aren't even harvested until October, and that really does preserve that beautiful, beautiful acidity. And when you talk about Nebbiolo, the way I think about it in particular is that there's really a couple of different styles of Nebbiolo that we're probably going to see in the marketplace. You're going to have wines like Barolo and Barbaresco that are really, really big and robust, very gripping tannins that just keep on coming. But then you're going to have another style completely made from younger vines, and that's really what we're talking about today, is that other style of Nebbiolo, and that's Langhe Nebbiolo. So again, they're the same grape, but how it differs is, you're talking about younger vines and also some differences in winemaking practices and aging and things like that.
So, Matt, for people that have not had Nebbiolo, there would be some comparisons to a certain grape variety. One would be Pinot Noir, and because the tannins can be soft as well, which is what we're going to get into very quickly about this particular Nebbiolo from Giacomo Vico. But it's similar to Pinot Noir too, in the sense that it's very aromatic, and you can have a wonderful large glass like you've got right there, I think, to bring out the aromas. Ah, perfect. Yeah, bring out the aromas in this wonderful wine.
Exactly, and the aromas of the wine are going to differ. I mean, in a style like this, you're going to have showcase much more fruit, and that's what they're striving for here. Whereas you know in in Barolo and Barbaresco, that's when you're going to get some more of the leather and the clay, and even you know, uh, asphalt and tar and things like that, those deep, deep, strong aromas, where this is all about showcasing fruit. In Langhe Nebbiolo, you're going to get some strawberry tones, perhaps some raspberry tones, even some kind of floral violety tones in the nose. Much, much lighter, fresher, younger style of Nebbiolo, and super crushable, I might add.
That's definitely a crushable wine, or a patio or porch pounder, as it were. Before we move on to Giacomo Vico's Langhe Nebbiolo itself, you may have heard us say Barolo and Barbaresco several times. Now, these are communes, areas within the Piedmont region that grow Nebbiolo. So you may see some wines and shops that will say Nebbiolo, and you might see some that say Barolo. The Giacomo Vico Langhe Nebbiolo is just Nebbiolo within the hills of the Langhe. And in the Langhe, there are the communes of Barolo and Barbaresco. Now, to be called Barolo and Barbaresco, they must be pure Nebbiolo. If they are outside that region, it will be, as we say in Europe, declassified to say Langhe Nebbiolo. But in even certain instances, to make it more confusing, some Barolo producers, like Giacomo Vico does make a Barolo too, will use younger vines for their Langhe and keep their older vines in Barolo, even though, I love the Italians, even though the Nebbiolo is still in Barolo soil. So, but the good thing is that's why the Wine Trust is here to sort through all this craziness. Anyway, we're going to go to the wine that you've all been waiting for. Matt, what's the deal with this wine?
Other than being delicious, I love the fact that this wine presents tremendous value overall. When we talk about those others like the Barolo and the Barbaresco, you're going to see some, wide range of prices, where Langhe Nebbiolo is a wonderful example of something that drinks well outside of its price range, I think. And just like the others, this is 100% Nebbiolo. The vines on average are in the neighborhood of 10 to 40 years. It's all from their estate property, which is about 50 acres in Canale. They have this, the soil type, their soil type, is a certain mixture of soils.
It's a bunch of dirt.
Yeah, it's a bunch of dirt, but their vineyards are south facing. They're doing all hand harvesting on these grapes. They're fermented in stainless steel for a brief amount of time, usually about 1 to 2 weeks. And then they undergo malolactic fermentation to soften everything up. And that occurs in wood. That's the next step. And then even beyond that, then they transfer it to smaller barrels where it ages for the period of about 6 months. And then last but not least, it gets bottle aged as well. Langhe Nebbiolo is, as we talked about, younger, and it's meant to be consumed younger. These wines will, easily be good for 5 years or so. But the idea is that they're consumed fresh and younger. They're very vibrant. They're very because of the acids and the tannins. It opens up a whole host of things that we can talk about as far as food pairings and things like that, which is really what it's all about.
What do you like pairing with that Nebbiolo? What's your favorite go-to cuisine?
When I drink this one, I think of really just basic comfort food, Italian American cuisine for me, because of the great acid in this. I mean, I love it with pizza. I love it with pasta. It just really has a lot of it has a lot of ability to cut through a lot of the rich, fat and all the good stuff. It does very well. If you ever like to braise beef, it's a dynamite wine to braise beef with. Um, it's really outstanding for the price point.
I
In
just
fact,
was.
I'm gonna have to say,
Oh, I was just thinking. I'd like to braise you like I should. So you're never gonna get that out of your head now. I like to do. I like to do Nebbiolo with beef jerky when I can get my hands on some really good beef jerky. Did you say osso buco already?
no, but
Oh,
I would
but
definitely love that with an
that's a
osso
that
buco.
that's a classic Italian
Yeah,
dish you can do
that's
with.
so, yeah, definitely.
All right. I think that's all they can stomach with us at this point. Just kidding, folks. Again, we are Nick and Matt from the Wine Trust. You have just received a wonderful present from us about the Giacomo Vico Langhe Nebbiolo. And this wonderful wine is available at all 4 Vino Divino locations.
So
Talking
give them a
Newton,
call.
Brookline, Boston, Needham, and because you need them, don't you?
Yeah,
Anyway,
and then you can always look them up on vinodivino.com.
all right. Signing off. Ciao.
Cheers.